Hi guys, Miss Perkins here. Today we're going to be talking about Module 6, Lesson 1. In this lesson, we're talking about being able to use tape diagrams to solve comparing word problems. Now first, let's talk about tape diagrams for just a moment before I even look at this word problem. We know that tape diagrams, first let's talk about diagrams. We know that diagrams is a picture with labels. Well, in the tape diagram, what we do in a tape diagram is that we draw a picture to show two parts of what's going on in the word problem. And you label with a number and a letter. Now, why do we label? Well, labeling makes your work clear and it's easy to understand. It also helps people see what you know. So the tape diagram is a way to help organize all of your information that you get from the word problem. So looking at this word problem right here, we're going to do RDW. Now it says cubes, which we did do cubes, but we're only going to do a little bit of the cubes. We're not going to do all of it. We're not going to be circling all the numbers and underlining the question, boxing in the important words. And we're not going to be doing all of that anymore. Since we're kind of getting to the end, we can't really do that anymore. So that means we're just going to really just focus on circling or doing things that are really important numbers or words in the word problem from now on. Since we're on the last module for first grade, which is crazy. You guys have almost made it. We're almost there. So now, looking at this, I'm going to read this word problem. It says, Tom answered 8 problems correctly on his time test. Blue answered 12 correct on his test. How many more problems did Blue answer than Tom? Now, looking at this, I'm going to read it again. Now, the first thing I want you to ask yourself, the two things I want you to ask yourself is, are we adding or subtracting? And does the word problem tell us the whole? Okay, so it's 2 important questions that we need to ask ourselves. Now it says, Tom answered 8 problems correctly on his time test. Blue answered 12 correct on his test. How many more problems did Blue answer than Tom? Now, this is a comparing word problem, so it makes it a little bit harder to be able to ask if we're adding or subtracting here. But there's kind of like a phrase that helps you know. In fact, we use this phrase in Module 3 whenever we were doing measuring and we were doing graphing, or we were looking at graphs and charts. And that is, how many more? How many more is that comparing? Now, whenever you're comparing two things and trying to figure out how much more, how much less, or how much fewer something is, you know that you're going to subtract. Because you're going to be taking the bigger number and subtracting by the smaller number to get the difference. Now, whenever you subtract, the answer is the difference. So you're trying to find the difference between Blue's 12 correct and Tom's 8 correct. Want to find the difference is the answer to a subtraction problem. So all you have to do is subtract this 12 minus the 8 from Tom, and that will equal your difference, remember the difference is the answer to a subtraction problem. So this is the subtraction problem that we're going to do. So we know that we're subtracting here. So it means that the biggest number is our whole. So whenever I told you about the whole, if we know the whole, we're going to circle the whole, and then we're going to draw it. So I'm going to draw it, and remember I'm doing a tape diagram, so I'm drawing it neat. After each 5, I'm going to leave a little space to kind of show each set of 5, 10, 11, 12. I'm going to box it in. This is my whole. This is as big as it can get. It cannot get any bigger than this. So I know this is the 12 that Blue got correct. Now we have to figure out how many Tom got correct. Now we know it's a subtraction sentence that we set it up as subtraction within our number sentence. So you could cross out 8, so 5, 6, 7, 8. Or instead of crossing out, if you don't want that crossing out piece to kind of get in the way of your picture, if you want to just count 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then put a line through, either one's fine. So if you want to cross it out, you would cross it out, then put a line. If you want to just count, you would count, then put a line. The line's going to go there no matter what. That line is to separate your two parts. So that line being in between is very important. Once you cross out or count 8, put a line separating those 8 to where they're by themselves, making that one part. I'm even going to double check and recount to make sure that 8 is one of those parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So good. Now I'm going to write 8 inside of the box. And then I know this is 8 that Tom solved, so I'm going to put a T for Tom. Now, this is our mystery. We don't know how many more Blue answered than Tom, but this is just how many more. Or I could have put a D for difference as well. But now we can look at this. Well, how many is it in the box? 1, 2, 3, 4. It is 4. I'm having to write kind of small. So that means that 12 minus 8 equals 4. So Blue answered 4 more problems than Tom. Alrighty, guys. I hope this helped. Bye. Have a great day.